Welcome back, my friends. This is the MRC show that never ends. Welcome all to your, your Monday night entertainment, of course. This is the Grand Prix with the stupid name. This is the Formula One MSC Cruisers del Premio del Made in Italy e dell'Emilia Romagna 2024 Grand Prix. We haven't even started and I've had to take a breath already. A good start. So we are here, of course, this penultimate round of the championship for the elite tier. And, it's a bit cloudy in qualifying. We had a little bit of an issue in terms of wet conditions for the expert tier. Just happened earlier, so if you haven't seen it, then please do check it out later on. And we look forward to seeing you, of course, getting involved in the YouTube chat as we go on around this very dark circuit and very technical track, of course, as always. Before we get into qualifying, it is time to introduce, of course, my co-commentator this evening. Many words for this man, but we are good friends, so it's actually really a pleasure to have him in the box again. We've had it a few times recently, but he's back with me once more. It is Mr. Connor Hardy. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not bad at all. Yourself?
Yeah, we've just seen... I'm still a bit mesmerised from that crazy race we've just seen, but, yeah.
It was a little bit, yeah. I mean, it didn't go well for the Aston boys. Andrew had a random kick and was in a wall, and I was battling hard to hold on, and unfortunately I did the same thing under very wet conditions, very tricky conditions, and yeah, front wing came off, rear wing was hanging on, and yeah, unfortunately race over, so not a good one. But, what a good race it was for some of the others. Manouche is saying Billy's offering the pasties. Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers, Manouche. I wonder how long that was going to... That was a lot quicker than I thought, I'll give you that. Even Andrew as well. So, yeah, I mean, we're here obviously in Imola. Good track, very technical circuit, and it's a track that you want to use low wings on again, and we've discussed this already at a few tracks this season. But of course, the long start finish straight, and then but downforce is key here, isn't it?
Yeah, there's one straight, one overtaking opportunity, really.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I would say about the wet weather is the wet weather almost promotes more overtaking opportunities at this track, which is strange to say, but it nullifies the DRS, and if you have a bad moment out of one of the other corners, you can then all of a sudden get a chance into the next one. So.
Yeah, and it's one where people use different wing levels, and that's where the grip comes from, of course, in that middle sector. So, again, it's going to be an interesting one. Even in the drive, we don't know the weather yet. If someone can pop up in the YouTube and tell us, that would be fantastic. I'm going to bring the tyres. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, really went wide, but just about kept it on track. At Piratella, we will do an onboard lap later on in qualifying, but everyone's out on the soft tyres apart from Chris, who's doing a medium run. So that's quite interesting to see what... It's interesting. I wonder if there's going to be raining coming later in the qualifying session.
Yeah, well, if there is, Chris has not made the right choice.
But then I wonder what's going to happen in the race if he's going and keeping maybe a set for the race, potentially.
Potentially, maybe it's going to be wet and then dry at the very end. Who knows?
Exactly. That's the one. And Chris does a 16.4 on those medium tyres. Johnny was on track and actually aborted his lap, where is Dynamite in the last two corners. A 15.5 already from Chatty Duck. What can Mr. Dynamite do in response? He does a 14.8.
The middle-aged firecracker. Wow, look at him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could see low 14s, potentially 13s once the track rubbers up a little bit. Cooler temperatures, it's going to be a strange one for the tyres to get the heat into them and get that overall grip. So I still think low 13s. I don't know if we'll get to the 13s, potentially.
We have Damiano Opmir here, don't we? So he's going to get a 112.
Exactly. Well, I think it's going to be, by that, Mr. Hills, I think it's going to be a dry race.
So he said he description in the YouTube with that.
Yeah, he said he hates dry races, so it must be. I think with this one, Jules has put in a good lap of 15.6. Very, very close when it comes to Chatty Duck down to Jules, so only a tenth or so between them all.
Yeah, this is going to be... This could be arguably the closest qualifier we see, because it's a track where it's reasonably short, and you genuinely see not very big gaps between each other in qualifying, don't we? Like, to be honest, right now it's already fairly close unless you're Kid Dynamite.
Yeah, Stefan. I think a few people just giving up, just getting their eye in. Baby Hornet and his brother as well. Then Stefan as well, just getting their eye in. But you're right. You know, there's. I mean, other than the 2 seconds to Red Car Rambo, the Dynamite's putting a monster time. I think you know, we are going to see those lap times tumble, especially for the majority of the grid this evening.
Yeah, we definitely are. It's going to be. Okay, well, Journey's got straight back out on track, so.
Yeah, we're going to follow him round on his. Well, it's actually his second attempt. He aborted his first one. Don't know if he invalidated somewhere. We didn't see it. We're on board with Chris as Reese is up there. Jules has done a 1:15.6. E17 is going to be quicker as well. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what Joni's got in the tank. We know Kid's fired up a little bit for this one. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting evening, I think, we're going to have ahead. As you mentioned, there's not a lot of overtaking point unless we have a complete difference in terms of setup and the wing levels of what people can do in the middle sector, for example. And if you can hold on with the DRS in down that main straight, even enough for the ERS to defend. And it can, that DRS down that straight, it's such a long straight that, well, it's a straight, not so straight, really. And it's, you know, it could be worth 6-7 tenths in the right setup.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think a prime example of how hard it is to overtake it. I know it was wet conditions, but I don't know if you caught the end of Expert, but it was Sam Flan and Fox going at it. Obviously, they're the 2 title contenders, but Fox just managed to hold the inside line every time, and that kept him ahead.
Yes, I sort of saw a little bit on the stream as I was prepping for this, and yeah, you're right, it was very close. What has Joni done with his lap time of 14.5?
Catch him if you can, guys.
Yeah.
Every week, don't we?
It's. I mean, it's getting a little bit boring.
I think he should just go to esports, or we should say, right, you're allowed to qualify 3 of your 12 races next season or something.
Yeah, he's a man who has numerous homegrown Prix, doesn't he? Of course, this being one of them. I think he actually lives not far away from Imola, if I remember rightly. And this is actually his local circuit.
What depresses me is him and Stefan, and I think there's 1 or 2 others. They're all so much younger than everyone else in this league yet. Look at them.
How old's Stefan?
Stefan's he's still studying. I know that much because he told me before a comm session one day.
Oh, that just makes me feel old. I mean, speaking of old, we have the boss man on stream.
You're dead.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I think I upset him into turn 1, went a little bit wide through it, and I think I may have upset him a little bit.
Oh, God. He's actually driving his favourite car tonight as well, though.
He actually is as well, yeah. He seems to always get the Alpine when he's reserving, so he seems to do quite well with that.
Yeah. Until you call him old and then he runs wide.
Yeah, pretty much.
It
Yeah, he
all
doesn't like
hits
that.
him at once, that's the issue. It all just comes back to him at one time.
And I think this is actually his last race. I think he misses Qatar because he's off into Europe for his business, of course, over the summer months. So this is going to be one of the last times we may see single track on. Oh, he's invalidated at the top of the hill. Oh, that's so unlucky. And I'm probably sure he's going to be in the YouTube chat insulting me very soon.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Exactly. Chris Bailey's done a 15.001 to put himself into third ahead of Reese as well. What a great lap from Chris.
Yeah, and that's his first lap on the softs as well, so he can really push his... Whereas, Joni and Dynamite only have 1 more set. Well, no, Dynamite has 2. But Chris has 2 more sets, so he can really push that next tyre as well.
Yep, certainly can. Speaking of Dynamite... Oh, it was invalidated!
Oh, he's bottled it.
Yeah, he has, and he just went wide out the Villeneuve chicane. So who's on a fast lap? So I'm going to try to find somebody who's just starting a lap. Saviour. I'm on board with the friendly German going into the turn. Well, it's actually turn 2, 3, and 4. The Tamburello chicane. And he gets foot flat on the exit, and we're going down to the very anti-Villeneuve, and he takes the wide line, keeps it in fifth. I want to run too wide as Kid did, and then into down the bottom of the hill, which is Torsa long chicane. Important to get traction just right as we take the drag up the hill. Turn 8 is a little kink. There it is. Into turn 9 at the top of the hill. Piratella, another one easy to run wide. Takes a lot of curve on the entrance. I mean, what do you expect to do? Turn 10 was that down the hill, and then Aqua Minerali 11. 12 runs a little bit wide. You can use that exit curve a little bit for 13 up the hill again to the Varianti. Alta 14, 15 decides not to really use the inside curves and bounce over them, which a lot of drivers do on the game. In real life, of course, it can cause a lot of damage to the underside of the car. 16 there into 17 and 18. Rivatsa keeps it in fourth gear, so the car turning very nicely for Save. He gets in the power beautifully early, must be said. And he's bailed.
Yeah, he was majorly up at the end of the first sector, and then second sector he had obviously that little moment at Piratella, I think it was.
Yeah, he took that inside curve just a little bit much, probably a bit more than he would have wanted to. And I think it just cost him a little bit of time, and it will actually cost you a lot of time really around there if you can kiss it right and get, the inside curve. And these inside curves, they're very short and they can be quite slippy. These inside curves, they can because they're not grippy inside. They're just sort of painted tarmac. I think that's what caused me to spin and hit the wall in our race. I just kissed that turn 3 inside curb, and it can unsettle the car because it seems to be a proper curb, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm this nerd that is sitting here on board of everyone on a fast lap, but I'm watching the lines they take into every corner to try and help myself learn, and I don't know how they manage to take so much curb on the entries.
I think it's just sort of the trust that they have in the car. If you do it consistently, you know what the car is going to do, how it's going to react. As Reese pops it into second, a 14.8, and just pips Kid Dynamite. But yeah, you can sort of, you know how the car is going to react. You know how it's going to feel with the suspension, the anti-roll bar, and of course getting the throttle down. You know exactly where you can push and where you can push. So it kind of just, I think that's just by laps and pushing those boundaries a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, I started at the top of the hill. I started taking at the very anti-Alta, that the first part of the chicane, especially, really going over the yellow sausage curb and letting the car sort of settle over the second part before I could get the throttle on exit was sort of a lot of people's line in expert when it was dry. When it's wet, of course, totally different kettle of fish, really, total different matter when it comes to that.
Yeah, it definitely is. This is one of these tracks as well where it's very much different every lap you drive because of the tyre wear and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you set it up right, you can get quite even tyre wear, but exactly that, and I think the top of the hill, Chatty Duck's only 100th up on his previous lap time, and it's one of those, exactly as you say, the top of the hill, Piratella, is so important. And if you try to throw the car in and hoping that, and it's all about the front end trust there, it's going to grip and not run out wide and understeer with the high speed that you're trying to keep, and you want to be really greedy on the throttle and you try your best as he moves. Great last sector from Chatty Duck. But yeah, you really try your best to get it to hold on and hope and pray that it's going to do just that. And it's so difficult, as you said, to keep that tyres going, to know exactly where the grip's going to be. And it's hard work, to be fair. That's what I mean. It's such a technical track around that part of the lap.
This track is very, very, in terms of...
Oh, Chris! So it went wide, turn 3, and invalidated already on his flying and final lap. He's going to be really upset about that one. Chris is up there, and yeah, that's really unlucky for him. Hopefully he can save batteries, hopefully he can save a bit of fuel as well and is able to go again. 3 minutes left of the session. G-Star down there on an out lap. Who have we got on a flyer? Womack's slow on his. He's just started a lap. Let's have a look at the Red Bull man.
I think he was just starting. Oh, he's missed it.
Wow.
That's what you call a Connor Kershey cut to when he goes straight over. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even need to say anything. You got there first.
I took it away from you that time, I'll tell you who has just started a lap, young Damiano.
Let's have a look at the Flying Italian Stallion. Good evening, Armour. Wow, 10th up as well in Sector 1.
He was really, really committed then.
He really was. Let's have a look up the top of the hill. It's right on board with him. Oh, wow.
He was so close to track
that was
there, wasn't he?
Perfect through there. Absolutely perfect. Look at the way he gets the car rotated. He uses third through at the bottom of the hill, and that was super late. Used every single part of the track and bounced over that inside curve and used the inside as well. The second part, what a second. I'm just enjoying this, to be fair.
Yeah,
so far.
So am I. I'm just a bit like, well, I wish I could do this.
Oh, kisses the inside curve
I think
through.
This is going to be a 13.
This could well be a 13, a 14-1.
I don't think anyone's getting near that, if I'm being completely honest.
Wow. I mean, Chatty Duck had a great lap on a 15-1 in 6, and that's a second difference.
The blowhole was up in the blowhole's 4 tenths up.
Actually, I'm going to cut off Chris because I don't want to jinx him. I want him to have a good lap. He's got a Ferrari ahead of him. That'll be Mr. Rambo. Lets him go.
Yeah, it certainly will, but let's see. He's coming round to the second Ravazza now, so...
Yep, he's finished his corners. I can go on board with it now. Let's have a look at this run towards the line. Does a 14.6. Great lap.
P2 for now, so that's a good lap for him, but what can Kid and Reese do?
Yeah, Reese is at the bottom of the hill. We need to drug test to Johnny. Yeah, that's a good shot. Harmer said that on YouTube.
I think that's the only way to put it. Like, can we set up random doping tests in MRC? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to pay the airmail to send one.
I mean, I'd happily fly out to Italy to do it.
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, just 2 of us could fly out to Italy, drug test him. When he passes it, I'm gonna be like, can I have your autograph?
Yeah. Can I have an autograph? But instead of it taking just a day, it just happens to take a week.
Yeah. Can I just stay here for a little while?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And if you let me stay, I will also pass your drug test.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Kid absolutely flew through the Variante Alta. So Reese on his fast lap. What can Kid do?
He's not gaining too much though, Kid. He's only 2.5 tenths up, so this is going to be very close with him and Chris as things stand. Yeah, we could just pip Chris to second. What can he do across the line? Takes the short run. A 14.4 does beat Chris to second. Where's Reese? Yeah, he has. Jules, where is Jules? Bottom of the hill. Oh, very, very wide. Top of the hill, but actually doesn't have... That's another one of those really annoying corners. If you go so far wide, it doesn't actually hurt too much. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of time when you go, because you do lift off. You're unsure what the car's going to do. So he has and in 11th, I think, and could potentially improve. Oh, Jules lost on the exit at the top of the hill as Ant's coming through. Half a second up. Yeah, he's absolutely flying, and this could be very good news for him and Chris. This could be a Mercedes 3-4 here. Potentially,
if he nails this final sector. Clean run to the line, nice through Ravazza. What can he do? The OS Open, a 14.9. He does into 5th, right behind his teammate as well on the grid.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that.
Jules is finished, Loppy's finished, so there we are, folks. The penultimate qualifying session of the seasonal journey once again takes pole position on a 14.1. Kid in second, who's, retired. That you're not going to do anything with that, mate. Don't know how he managed it. But anyway, Kid is in second, Chris in third, with Reese in fourth, and Ant in fifth, then Jules in sixth, Saviour in seventh, Calvin in eighth, good qualifying from him, Chatty Duck in ninth, then G-Star in 10th, Stefan in 11th, then Dumbest Hornet, another good qualifying as well from Dumbest Hornet in 12th, then Loppy in 13th, Woomax 14th, Single Track back at it again in 15th, then we have Red Car Rambo E17, Baby Hornet in 18th, then Rosa Sky, and missed the last one. I think it was Rendog. I didn't see who it was, actually. So he's back on it as well. Rendog, he is. Yep, there he is. So in 20th. So we have got a 5-minute interval We do have a little bit of a break before we go racing, and I think, like we said, it's going to be dry racing conditions this evening, which, I mean, I wish we had that earlier. A little bit jealous.
Yeah, boring. That's what I say.
I mean, you're going to regret that when it's raining on Wednesday.
I don't. Thing is, do you know that you're gonna call me an absolute nutty? I've prayed for rain in every single race this season.
Really?
Yes, I love the rain.
Some tracks, yes, I don't mind it. And there are some tracks that I absolutely despise it, and that was one of them. There's some I like and some I really don't.
Basically, I'm so bad at every track in the dry that the only chance I've got of winning a race is if everyone spins out in the wet. That's my thought process.
Fair enough.
I have no chance in the dry, so I might as well at least have a neutralizer, which is the wet. So
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those moments that you can get an equaliser, but it depends on the setup, because some people,
yeah,
especially if you've got the changing conditions, some people take that chance and try to have a dry setup, then they regret it instantly as soon as a little bit of rain comes and the grip starts to fall away.
yeah. I'll tell you what though, how cloudy does that look?
It does seem very overcast, same as qualifying. I mean, Martin said it is a dry race, so I'm really interested to see if it actually stays dry. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't.
Yes, so am I. I think
What
we
is
should just like red flag it and then bring the weather.
I mean, at the same time, though, I'm also hoping that it, we don't have as many safety cars.
This is tier one though. They very rarely have any.
Well, true.
Sorry, not tier one. That doesn't exist. At least
Yeah, but I think it's one of those that I felt tonight in Expert that they came out so quickly, and there wasn't necessarily a DNF or anything like that. There was maybe someone who spun and a bit of damage, but safety cars, we had about 3 or 4 laps where it just came out within half a lap of racing again, and it was a bit strange that they came out that quickly.
yeah, I was watching the stream, and every time you got to Piratella, there was a safety car.
It
I
was.
was laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." But
Well, I mean, a lot of people probably weren't racing.
well, no, they were probably like, "Oh, for God's sake!" But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I was definitely part of that one. I wasn't amused, but I mean, there was the point where it went to Inters, and it was that borderline with the wets that it helped, I thought. I felt it was a bit better because they did not have that grip even through the first few corners, and I think it was Sarge and Fox who were the first ones to pit to the wets,
yeah,
and then got another safety car straight away, and it was about half a lap, and you could see how fast they were coming through the field straight away with the grip they had, and it worked absolutely perfectly for them, and fair play
yeah.
to them. Of course, they called it perfect, really.
But the safety car arguably screwed the pair of them as well, because if let's say if there was a safety car, I don't know, even a lap later, or if they'd made Sam Flan and the others pit on normal racing, they'd have all been what 25, 26 seconds behind them, and it had just been shaken. I mean, for the sake of MRC's racing, it was brilliant, but for the sake of Sergeant Fox, it's probably very, very stressful.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. I think, I mean, I understood they were coming through the field. I got told they were coming through quickly, and
Yeah, they were.
that
Yeah,
safety car did give me a bit of a reprieve because, I mean, regardless whether it was a safety car or not, I was coming in that lap. And
yeah.
I think that safety car did exactly as you just said. They helped everybody and made everybody do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like for example, the guys that didn't pit as soon as the safety car came in for wets from Inters, the safety car halfway around the next lap, literally. Well, I don't get me wrong. It did benefit Fox and Sarge because they came out first and second, but it also helped keep everyone else close to them. So
Yeah, it did. Yeah, single track said there. He did. He was one of the first on wets, and he was actually. And Damo was
he was,
the other
yeah,
one. The other first two that did jump. In fairness.
yeah. Martin never even went to Inters. As soon as it started raining, he went straight to wets, knowing the wets were
It was coming.
I know there was someone else who had that feeling as well, but didn't want to take the risk. So
Yeah, I was on the fence knowing what was coming because obviously we had to set the grid. We knew it was going to be heavy rain, and I was a bit unsure how long it would last. And I kind of wish I did, to be honest, because as soon as we got to winters, it was just safety car after safety car, and we didn't get any running, and just allowed that track to get worse and worse, and the puddles formed, so there wasn't much we could do about it. But, you know, we're looking for a dry race here, potentially, from what we understand, so strategy is going to be another huge point here of what tyres people are using, what tyres they're going to use and have saved from qualifying.
yeah.
I mean, who are you looking at potentially to come through?
What, from the
The grid today?
back?
Yeah. Oh, as we start the formation lap.
Let me remind myself. Well, maybe Hornet won't. I think we'll see LRL. I said that so like I meant it, didn't I? Whoops, sorry, Simon. But LRL, I think, will finish higher than 11th. He's always, you know, way more competitive than that.
And starting on the soft tyres, the only one starting on the soft tyres.
Yeah, I believe, if my eyes are not deceiving me, is it Mr. Eugeni? Yeah, Eugeni is on the hard tyre.
Yeah, I mean, he does like to.
That's still brave, though, when you... I mean, that guy's got so much pace, he can start on wets and still win the race, but it's a brave call, isn't it? Especially when you've got someone as, well, so many fast drivers behind you, to be honest. But,
yeah, I mean, in practice, I thought the hards were okay. Personally, I didn't think they were too bad. I thought, you know, they can go quite long into the race, and you can do. I think we saw a bit difficult because Friday was in MRCX was 100% race, so obviously the tyre wear is different. But you know, you can go hard to the soft tyres on these if you can make them last. And Ryan's starting on the hards, and hopefully, I'm hoping Ryan has a good race, of course. And, you know, if he can do that, and he is very, very good with the tyres. Chatty Duck as well on the hard, so is Dumas Hornet, everyone else on the medium. So it's one that can open up that possibility if you've got a spare set of softs.
Yeah. Well, we know Eugeni doesn't, unless he did that filthy lap on a scrub set, and if he did, then I think retirement is calling me.
Pretty much, I think. Yeah, we've said it before. We need another tier for him.
The one we definitely do know has a brand new set of softs is Chris. So
yeah, he does exactly, and that's the thing. I think they'll last about 7-ish laps, so give or take. So if we do have one of those safety cars, that hopefully we don't, but if we do, it could be something that we could see later on. People diving in the pits for the strategy call. So we have lined up here at the back of the grid. Let everybody settle down, and once the timing screen starts, we should start to see the racing lights. There we are, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and for the penultimate time this season, we go racing. Ujoni off the line. Good start from him on the second phase. Got a little bit of wheel spin, so did Kid Dynamite. Got a good start from Reese. Well, let's have a look further back. It's all side-by-side action all the way down to turn 1. Is now, who's that under pressure? That was Kid and Ujoni side-by-side. Who's that that's gone straight on? I think that was Reese, I think. It wasn't. Who was that went straight on? I'm not sure. But Chris in 4th, Anton up into 5th. So Reese and Chris have swapped places. Who was it? It was Jules that went straight on.
Yeah.
Oh, big crash further back. Who was that further back? I'm going to have to keep cutting back. That's a Haas. It was Loppy.
Yeah.
He hasn't got damaged somehow.
Chris, though, I was on board with him for the start, and he bogged down majorly, and then couldn't find the traction off the line. It lost him in position.
In fairness, though, just to lose one spot, it's a long drag down to turn 1, and to only lose one spot, he had a really good second phase from that. He's all over the back of Reese. We're just waiting for, of course, at the end of this lap to get the intervals on the screen for the update. Look at I love that camera angle, funny enough, going through very anti-altitude up the hill. People looking, having a little weave, are they going to try it up the hill? And no one does, but Ujoni on the hard tyres leads the way at the end of lap 1 with Kid Dynamite right behind him. Reese as well, Chris Bailey and in 5th. Then we got Chatty Duck, good start from him, taking advantage on the hard tyres, a 19.9999.
I tell you what though, the hard tyre isn't a bad tyre to start the race on. Obviously, as we know, Womack's started last and was P6 by the time that rain had even come out.
Yeah, I saw that, and I did mention that to my teammate, and I was just like, how in God's name has he done that? We started on the mediums, and they felt great, they felt good, but
Yeah.
I don't know what Womack started on. I have no idea. Did he? If he started on the hard? I mean, that's monstrous. I mean, there was a few people tripping up, I think, further back in our race, but to come through the field the way he did, absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And he showed great pace in qualifying, even though he shouldn't have qualified.
Yeah, he qualified third, and he was on the quali ban, so it's that'll be discussed if it's served or not. I think we'd technically class it as served because we red flagged it because of a session glitch anyway. And he started the back, so I think that's probably served. So
bit, didn't it?
It did a little bit, the session, which is why we're a little bit delayed this evening, folks. So everyone in the chat, please don't forget, all 11 of you that are watching, I think it's 11, my computer doesn't like to update, hit the like button, of course, and get following, subscribe if you haven't already. So the interval at the start, so now we've got DRS enabled, very, very close to top 5, nose to tail, all within DRS. Charity Jug just outside the back of that. Well, let's get rid of those position changes. We know where they are. A few little movers and shakers. Baby Hard up to 16th on the back of E17. Red Car Rambo on the back of Single Track. They've had a lot of battles over the seasons as well, so I could imagine that'll be a tasty one. Yeah. But they're all both hard but fair races actually as well, so that's going to be quite a nice little battle. And Single Track already got his iron, but not, well, he's got his iron, but not necessarily in the dry, and I can see some shadows, so I think it's just brightening up a little bit now, which will help those hard tyres warm up and come into play, I think.
I think your PlayStation's glitched, by the way, because yours said that Ant was starting on the soft, but he's actually on the mediums.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he is on the mediums. Did I say softs?
Yeah, you said softs, and that made me think... LRL's on the softs.
Yeah, he's the only one. Did I say... I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, I was like... I just thought about it now, like when I saw he was on the mediums, because I was about to say the progress hasn't been that great on the soft. Oh, big moment for Reese out of about the two.
Thought it was, yeah, but luckily with the DRS, he's going to be able to recover that one a little bit. But what can Kid do on the back of a Johnny? He's going to have a look at the turn one for the lead on the medium tyres. He does. He's got to move just under braking. Oh, to take the inside line. Oh, Kid spun! Oh my goodness me!
Contact.
I'm not 100%, but he's dropping so many places because he couldn't get it turned round. Oh my goodness me, that happened on, well, I know it happened on Friday because I gave him the most almighty accident that unfortunately happened with Kid on Friday and just lost traction on the exit of 2.
Well, it looked like, from my screen anyway, I'm not blaming you, Johnny, anyway, but it
Sam has got a new front wing, sorry.
Big lag.
Oh, Johnny's out, there's a big crash! I don't know what's happened, I don't know if there was a crash and then...
His connection's gone.
Is that what it was?
And, well, this is what I was... With the Kid incident, he lagged behind Kid. And it looked like there was contact between the two of them. He's now just lagged and disconnected from the session directly in front of Reese. Reese has gone into the back of him. I think Reese has got terminal wing damage as well. Very bad front wing damage.
It doesn't look it on the screen. It looks on my screen. It looks like he's okay. He doesn't have damage. He's continuing, so I think he's all right. But yes, you're right. We saw him and he was pretty much in the gearbox of Ojoni. And... yeah, that was... what on earth? This is now Chris now fighting for the lead under the DRS going on the outside, and Chris has now got the lead. Yeah. What has just happened in the space of 1 minute 20 seconds?
Joni said in Discord, in qualifying, he was lagging. As he was behind Kid, there was definitely a lag spike, which I believe sent him into Kid. And then, obviously, he's disconnected directly in front of Reese, which has then made Reese go into the back of him. I mean, there's no way Reese can be blamed for that. There's absolutely
Single Track's out.
Martin's out.
I think that's on the way into the pits. Oh, it's on track.
I wonder if it's rear wing.
No, he's lost a wing. He's lost a wheel.
Is that glitch?
I don't know.
He's on the racing line.
Yeah.
Joni's rejoined. I don't know if he's good. He's tired. I don't know.
Joni's joined, but unfortunately his car's DNF'd. I'm sure we'll hear about this in Discord, if you keep an eye on that, and we'll see what happens. But that's a very strange one. In the opening laps of the Elite Tier. Wow. I mean... I'm a bit confused, to be perfectly honest, but...
So, Ujoni, update from Ujoni, sorry to interrupt you.
Go.
He could not see where anyone was at any point. Everyone was teleporting around him.
Wow, so there is definitely some interconnection. I had it a little bit in our race, and I had it in my second run in qualifying, going into turn one, funnily enough, where it sort of jumped a little bit and caused me to mess up my braking on the soft tyres, which meant I couldn't actually improve much, which was annoying. And my wheel jumped a little bit. And then it happened twice in the race, but not a major thing. Oh, wow. So Martin said he had rear wing damage, went to enter the pit lane to retire, and it teleported him through the pit wall, minus a wheel. I think there are some little lobby glitches tonight, and I wonder if it's to do with the beta that's obviously continued over the weekend. I think it's extended to Wednesday. It's available until, so I wonder if there's going to be a few issues. If it does continue, we'll keep you updated, folks, and hopefully not. But wow.
Yeah. I've actually gone back on stream and my own footage and watched back the Ujoni. There is definitely contact between him and Kid. But if he doesn't know anything about it, there's not a lot he can do, is there? So...
No, of course not, there isn't. And I think if he's lost the connection, there won't be any footage, unfortunately, for him. But, you know, we've got it from the stream, and you've seen it yourself. So, because top two battling under DRS once more, the top three, I should say. And I think it's just... he could make a move. He could actually try this as well with Chris. But Ant's just sitting there, putting Reese under pressure. They're slightly pulling away from Chatty Duck, 1.8 seconds. Who's got... well, about 4 or 5 cars for company as well himself. So he's got his mirrors full as a top three, trying to pull away.
I'm not going to jinx Chris here in any way, shape or form. Well, I'll try not to anyway. But I believe he's won here every time he's raced here, other than X on Friday.
Jeez.
If not, he's very, very good at this track. I know he is. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're all on the same tyres. I'm not looking at the DRS levels. We're not on board. We haven't... I mean, that's the other thing about... you mentioned the glitches that we had there with single track and Ujoni. Obviously, single track was suddenly in the middle of the racing track on the line, and Ujoni DNF'd while he was still moving. And there were no safety cars, which we saw in Elite, and we talked about earlier that there was none of that. So it must be some kind of desync, as you mentioned. Because of that, otherwise it would bring out the safety car, surely.
There's no reason at all for Ujoni's DNF. It definitely wasn't a deliberate DNF, because he had absolutely no reason to do that. That would have been absolutely ludicrous and stupid.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like, for example, his wheel didn't come off, nothing came off. All you saw was
he went ghosted.
Rear end, and then all of a sudden, see you later. And he ended up in the gravel. He definitely didn't hit the wall because I stayed on board with him. But
yeah,
very strange. And then Martin's was even more weird because he was just parked straight on the racing line.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we've had a few strange incidents there, folks, and yeah, like I say, get involved with the YouTube chat.
Mr. Dennison's in there, the Lion King, saying hello.
Good evening, Mr. Simba.
How are you?
So a few gaps. Kids found himself back up to 9th after his unfortunate spin, we're going to call it, because obviously with the issues that we've had. So he's now separating the Red Bulls and trying to catch the back of G-Star. He's got Woolmash for company. Ryan found himself up in 11th, so a good start from him. I think Dumas Honda has pitted. E17 has pitted, and I know Baby Hornet pitted as well for a new front nose, so he's had a bit of damage and a bit of coming together somewhere. Chris has just pulled that gap to 0.8 across the DRS and the start-finish line. So those three just holding that. I mean, we know Chris is not going to have any ERS left. We just know that without even looking. Who was that fella? That's Saviour having a little look at Chatty Duck. It was. Can't make it happen.
I'll tell you what, interestingly though, what Armar Red has just said in the YouTube chat is absolutely correct. The only thing that can stop Ujoni is internet.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? It's the only way he can be stopped is just to not let him race.
Baby Hornet has lost connection. I will send him another invite so he can get back in.
Yeah, fingers crossed for him. And it's just how bad the connection is, because the leaders on lap 9... Oh, Saviour goes very wide at the top of the hill, but the leaders are coming through the bottom of the hill now, which is Aqua Minerale, and then Of course, he's just through a very anti-alter.
Oh, Saviour's round!
Wow!
He's in the wall!
And he's got damage as well.
Oh, he just lost it. I can't remember what that corner's called, but he
Aqua
lost it on
Minerale.
the exit.
Yeah.
He lost it on the exit, and it just lost control totally.
Yeah, it really did. That's so unlucky
That
for
is so
Saviour.
unlike Saviour.
It is as well. He's going to have to pit because that is not going to feel good at all down the hill. He's got no end plate. That car is not going to turn very nicely at all, but it's going to help Ryan get the DRS to help pull him away from Floppy Loppy as well, but he's going to have to watch if he goes in. He does. Ryan's now on his way into 10th. Was a Sky DNF, and that's now got a safety car. First one.
Sky gone?
Top of the hill, top of Piratella.
Yeah, that's well, it's very easy to catch the curb, isn't it, and just lose it there.
Yeah, so let's
we could see all the medium runners in here.
We could. Yeah, you're right. Stefan stayed out because he's just pitted for a fresh set of mediums, so he's only done, well, now 2 laps, his second lap now on them. Saviour's pitted for the hards. This is going to help him, I think, come back into this race a little bit more. Rendog has pitted as well in 14th, and yeah, let's have a look back up to the top, guys. They just come again through Aqua Minerale, going up the hill, so they haven't got the safety car yet. Gives them plenty of time. And it's going to be interesting to see what Chatty Duck does. He started on the hard. Same with Red Car Rambo. If you're the mediums, you could potentially take those hard tyres to the end. Obviously, barring any other safety cars or any other issues. But the mediums, bit of a push. And that's where it's going to hamper those guys, I think, a little bit more in terms of their strategies.
Reese in, Chris in. And come in as well, so the Mercedes is double stacking.
I kind of think they didn't really have a choice in that matter.
Yeah, either way, they were going to sort of lose out a little bit here. And Chris obviously gets the preferred choice as, you know, the leading driver. So.
Of course, well, every time I skip down somebody, we've got somebody in the pits, so we'll just leave it be and let's have a look.
Red Car Rambo leads the race.
Go on, Ryan.
So what happens is, Ujoni retires and Red Car turns into Ujoni.
I wonder if they're sharing PSN. Ryan. They must be sharing.
Yeah, I'm DNF. Do you want me to take over? Yes, please.
Exactly. Yeah, you saw people teleport, unfortunately, today, rain a lot, and probably this has made his connection really bad. Oh, that's so unlucky, mate. So unlucky, Damiano. Hopefully you'll be back in 2 weeks' time for Qatar. But that is so unlucky.
2 weeks' time.
It is. We have a bank holiday weekend next weekend in the UK, so no racing in MRC. And then after that, we have probably only a week. Well, we'll hopefully have a bit of break. We go to F1 24, so gives us a few weeks to get the game and get recruiting some new talent in the F1 pool, and we go racing again. F1 24, brand new season.
Yeah. It's not going to be far away now, and it's almost a reset as well, isn't it? In some, I'll tell you what, Reese jumped Chris.
Yeah, I wonder if they don't get held, so I'm not sure how. I wonder if Chris missed his marker,
or something. Yeah, potentially, or the car around them double stacked as well, and it held him a little bit. I don't know.
Sometimes it does, you're right, but it's a strange one. I'm surprised by that. I wonder if Reese hit his marker was right on the back of Chris, hit his markers right, and Chris missed his, and had like one of those late stops that does delay you. I think it's about half a second or a second.
Yeah, potentially, but let's see.
This is going to be interesting to see what role that Ryan can play now, what overall pace that this man's got. And, you know, what he can do about the guys on the fresh, hard tyres behind him. And as well, Chatty Duck is on the medium, so is LRL, Rendog and a few guys further back. They're on the mediums. So everyone else on the hard tyres, this is going to be an interesting one now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for LRL because that's sort of hurt him being on the mediums. He's not going to be able to go again.
Yeah, and he just pitted as well, hadn't he? So.
Duck. But Chatty Duck's going to have a big part to play here as well because he's up to what is a net P3 now on medium tyres. Can he really attack Chris and Reese and hope for a safety car at a few laps' time?
Yeah,
to really bring him into play.
exactly. And that double stack really has hurt Anton. He's dropped behind Chatty Duck and Calvin as well in that.
Yeah, not helped Anton one little bit. He was looking arguably the faster of Reese and Chris as well at
Yeah.
the time of the safety car. So,
And we know what he can do with his tyres, and he'll be able to save that ERS as well behind them as well. So yeah, this could really have hurt him quite a lot.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it has somewhat helped Baby Hornet because he obviously had that loss of connection. He's managed to get back in. So,
Yeah, and not be a lap down as well. So he's got a bit lucky. Obviously, he's the last one to catch the pack, which is absolutely fine for him. He won't mind that at all.
no, of course. But we have got a Hornet 16 and 17 at the minute.
I mean, it's just a battle of rights, really, isn't it? I mean, they always do, don't they? We know how competitive they are.
Honestly, you should hear them when they're in a party together. If they're racing, it's the funniest thing you ever listen to.
I've never been to a party with them. I would actually like that. I would love to see...
They argue about who the better driver is, and then Simon crashes out after 3 laps, and then Chris goes, well, I told you so.
What, then crashes out after 4?
No, he'll spin it into a barrier and go, I've got rear wing damage, but he'll go, if I drive to the end, I'm clearly better. So, yeah.
I can kind of get that. I can get that with the two of them, to be fair.
Honestly, it's a sight to behold when those two are racing together.
I do like Simon commentating on his brother.
Oh, yeah, because he just talks about him spinning.
Exactly.
Even though Simon is learning from Chris and doing the exact same thing, hence when he set up a Monaco race for the whole Discord and didn't even make it to turn 1.
You are never going to let him forget that, are you?
He can't say anything to anyone about it, can he? Let's be honest.
If you're watching sort of for the first or second time, we are good friends. Don't worry about this. This is all in jest, by the way, everybody. We're not actually targeting Baby Hornet or Dumbest Hornet.
No. We do secretly love them to bits. We just can't let them know that.
Exactly.
But,
that's the one. It is. It really is.
It is what. To be honest, if we were nice about them, they'd be asking what's wrong. So
pretty much, they probably wouldn't comment. If we were nice about them, they don't comment. We only ever get a reaction, and their involvement when we're nasty.
Yeah, Simon tunes into in safety cars as well. So the reason I target him now is because I know he can hear us. So. Well,
I mean, the good point is he's on the back of the pack.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see. I've been kicked from all chats, like the stewards chats and all that, and then we know we've rattled him.
Pretty much, that's the one. So now we have the safety car, of course, coming in this lap. Mr. Red Car Rambo back at the front of the field. But unfortunately for him, I mean, he deserves to be up there a lot more. But he's there now at the top of the elite tier. When is he going to go? We saw it quite late to let the safety car go in the pits in the expert tier. But he's got Reese up the back of him with Chris Bailey in close quarter. Let's go on board with the red car man, and he goes outside. That's going to get a little bit of wheel spin, but doesn't catch Reese snapping. You know exactly when he was going to go, but so is Chris. Chris has actually got a better run, I think, on Reese, but look at this. Everyone's using the ERS, but here's Chris. No, they're going, but now this is Reese on the outside of red car man, but Rebecca goes a little bit defensive. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. All right, it's gone round. Oh no, Johnny Duck, what a start from him. On the mediums, Chris is now coming back as well on the exit. Chris is going on the outside into the field of chicane. Chris got a little bit twitchy, and now he's trying the inside. Johnny Duck, what a switchback. What a restart.
What a move that was from Chatty Duck, the ultimate opportunist. And then switchbacks, the man that's the king of the switchbacks.
He is. He's on the medium tyre. He's got the grip absolutely nailed. I don't know what that Ryan bit. I don't know if it's because the car twitched a little bit on the entrance into turn 1. I feel so bad for Ryan. I really, really do. Was defending that really well. I think just with the kink in the braking zone, the coming together that happened, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to comment anymore. We may see that in the stewards from Ryan. But that's so unlucky from there to down to 16th on the restart. I feel so much for him.
It was very close. It'll be an interest. Again, I think that's an instance where I want to see both bits of footage because the angle I saw, it looked like one way, but of course I'm not going to say anything until I see both. So.
No, I think you're right, and especially if we've had those glitches and the little jumps that we've had in this lobby so far tonight, I think definitely something we need to see again. But Chatty Duck now into second. He's on those medium tyres. Will they last the next 17 racing laps after this one? Well, 18 in total, including this lap. It's going to be hard pressed. I think he may struggle towards the end, but he's having a little look at Reese. He wants to make the most of them as much as he possibly can, and the hard tyres that everyone's grouped right behind him. Everyone knows to tail at the minute. Dumas Hornet's fallen off the back of Saviour after that incident that Saviour had at the bottom of Aqua Minerale before the safety car. But it just, he's getting a bit spaced towards the back, but the top 12 all nose to tail, and I don't really know how to follow it. It doesn't really matter, they're all nose to tail, aren't they, really, at this point in time?
Do we think there is any hope of Chatty Duck getting to the end from here? Bearing in mind, 3 of the 4 laps he's done under safety car.
So you could take maybe 0.5% to 1% out per lap under safety car, just keeping that little bit of heat into them. So it is possible. With that, but it depends on how much he's going to use. But he's having a look at Reese. He's got the move. He's using a lot of his ARS to try to make the move before the DRS, and he's got the move done way before that. But on that one, I wonder if he used a lot of his ERS, which he did do, and Reese saved it. And Reese is just looking at the long game. Let the man on the mediums go long. Let him see if he can scamp away. See if he can keep with him. And then just drag him back in towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one where Reese doesn't want to do anything unnecessary here. It wasn't really worth Reese fighting it at that point. His fight is solely with Chris, Anton, Calvin at the minute. But I tell you what, look how much pressure Calvin's putting Chris under currently.
Yeah, just going to come back to that as well. He is on the back of him as well, and it's good to see Calvin back up there as well. He's had a bit of bad luck this season. What a nice guy as well. I've met Calvin. He's such a nice guy. A lot of time for him. And he's pushing Chris under pressure. I think they're actually... Oh, it goes very wide, though. That's going to hurt him all right. 3-second penalty, pushing a bit too much there to get on the back of Baby Hornet.
Yeah, certainly is. But, no, I think Calvin actually got a podium last week.
I think he did, actually.
Yeah. So, he's probably got a bit of confidence from that.
Yeah, Chatty Duck setting the fastest lap of the race on those fresh medium tyres, but Reese is coming back at him into turn 1. Oh, has to go defensive, Chatty Duck. Reese going to have a better run on the exit tunnel. Oh, they nearly touched. Really nearly touched. And that's hampered Reese's run through to Villeneuve. Oh, wow.
I'm very surprised how hard Reese is fighting this at this stage.
I am actually, and Ant's got past Calvin as well into 4, so we've got Mercedes 3 and 4 at this moment, both in the same tyre.
Wow, I've just seen the video of Eugeni's view of this entire race. Let's put it this way, when him and Kid came together, Kid was behind him on his screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So... That's how laggy that was.
Gee whiz. Wow.
I'll tell you what though, look at the fight back from Kid.
He is.
For P6, and he's only about 3.5 seconds off the lead.
Exactly, yeah, he's got to be feeling quite good now. And to be fair, once Kid gets sort of that red mist, he's even more dangerous. The level that he can compete at and the laps that he can do consistently is something else. It really, really is. And we've got this DRS train, and was just a little bit, I don't know if he got the DRS actually from the back of his teammate there, but he managed to keep on the back of Calvin. And we're just sort of keeping with these top 5, 6 drivers at the moment. It's sort of status quo at the minute, isn't it? I think Chris in a good position. He's only right behind. Reese can hopefully save some of his ERS levels. I know he likes to dump it, but if he can keep a bit of it, and just hope that Chatty Duck uses those mediums to pull away from Reese. It's hovering about. Oh, Reese has got 3 seconds. Top of the hill of Peritella, and that's really allowed Chris to get right on the back of him, and he's going to smell blood. And Reese outside of that magic 1 second window. And Chris is going to be looking to pounce. Different lines through Aqua
absolute-
Aqua Variante Alto even.
Yeah, this has been an absolute disaster of a lap for Reese. He's dropped out the DRS. He's got a 3 seconds. This thing is, as things stand, he dropped to around about P6 as well. So
Yeah, if the race finished now, but let's have a look on board. Chris Bailey's using a bit of his ERS. I don't think he really needs it, to be perfectly honest with you. You can actually turn it off now if he chose to. He's not. He's just making sure he gets that overtake done, and he has way before the braking zone into turn 1. And Chris now, hopefully he can set his sights on Chatty Duck for him and keep Reese behind him. But Anta dropped out. Kid's up to 5th now. Another place for the Firecracker.
absolutely flying Kid at the minute. So how quickly can he get on the back of Ant, or well, more can he get on the back of Ant? Let's see. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, I mean, I was reporting it to my teammate that at this, well, not this point, but about that second, well, where Ant is 7, 8 tenths, I was in a battle in early stages of our race before obviously the rain came. The grip levels were shocking, really, really poor, and I don't know if it's the dirty air or what it was, but it really, really hurt a lot. You just didn't seem to have the grip, and I think that's why Kid now has closed that gap by half a second already this lap. And Chris, I mean, 1.5 seconds back, hasn't been able to really make inroads in a bit cleaner air potentially that he's got off the back of Chatty Duck. Now he's past Reese.
Yeah,
But this is going to be a really interesting drag. Sorry, this is going to be a very interesting drag race, and really close to the back of Reese. And this is going to be who's going to use the DRS button, who's going to use the ERS, who's going to try to get the move done. I think Reese not close enough to Chris, just using it to sort of keep there, really, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I've been observing Reese now for about a lap. By the looks of it, he has much lower wings than Chris and everybody else, because he looks like he's a lot quicker. He's hitting about 7 to 8 miles per hour quicker in a straight line, and not even with his ERS on.
Wow, that's huge without the DRS. So that could be, 20 mile an hour quicker, really, with DRS, maybe a bit more. So it's surprising he didn't make the move, but this is that Kid all over the back of Ant? I think it is.
Yeah, it's like right now I'm watching Reese through the middle sector, and he is struggling.
Yeah, he's lost half a second, a bit more actually, to Chris through that middle sector. Ant's closed back up to him, and this is now where Ant starts to close that gap. Calvin's still on the back of Dynamite, and this, like you mentioned, you're in that turbulent air at this point, and you're close enough to sort of be affected by the driver in front's braking zone, so you're a little bit reluctant at times, unless you get that clean run. And again, he's going to have a run, but the DRS, is Reese going to be close enough? He's actually, I thought he'd actually close the wing fully enough. Did Reese down that straight, but just this is
I'm not going to give anything away, but let's put it this way: he used a lot less power than everybody else down that straight.
Wow.
That's all I'll say. But interestingly as well, Ant is very much, almost very conservative at this point, which is quite surprising when you've got probably the most terrifying driver in this entire league right behind you.
It is, and this is where it becomes that game. I think it's the game of tic-tac-toe, as they say. It's just that game of chess. It's that game of battleships where it's all about the strategy. Does Calvin make the move? Does Dynamite try and make a move? Who makes that? Because that gap at the front with Chatty Duck and Chris hasn't come down at all. It's sort of hovered at 1.5 to 1.7, 1.8. And I think Chatty Duck's got a bit higher wings because he pulls it in the middle sector, and then Chris pulls it, and he's stronger at the top of the hill. Dermot's horn, it's out. It's a safety car.
I was just about to say, Chatty Duck needs these guys to start fighting.
And he's pitted. Everybody's pitting.
Wow.
Everybody is pitting. And this is going to hurt Ant once more, because he's going to have to double stack behind his teammate. Now then, let's bring up the tyres. Chatty Duck, soft tyres. Chris Bailey, medium tyres.
I think Chatty Duck may have just pulled an absolute blinder.
I wonder if they'll... Well, yeah, they may last. I think the mediums are going to be more consistent, though, at the end. Womack has gone... Everyone else has gone mediums.
Womack's soft, yeah. But, yeah, no, this is... The thing is, he's just gone softer than everybody else. What Chatty Duck will hope is he can pull a gap now as soon as this safety car comes in. Chris, Reese, I tell you who this hurts more than anyone in this world, Reese. This is who it hurts the most because of that 3-second penalty.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That will hurt Reese an awful lot. But Chatty Duck will just be praying that Reese, Kid, Calvin, Anton again seriously hurt by another safety car though.
Yeah, he has. He's so close to his teammate. This has really hampered him now. Of course, just behind Reese, holding up not holding up, but holding off Kid, and he's dropped it behind Calvin. And exactly, it has. But this is such a chess match. We say it's a technical circuit, not many overtaking places here, which we have seen already. And now we've got a slight difference in strategies. You know, Chris can recharge his battery. I haven't even gone on board with anybody to even look at the batteries throughout this race. I mean, the off-board shots we've had have been pretty good, so I haven't actually needed to get other other viewpoints. But everybody who's watching, please put in the YouTube chat. If you haven't liked it, please do. And also, let me hear your predictions. Will Chatty Duck be able to make those soft tyres last to the end? Will Chris have the pace? Will Dynamite come through? What about Reese? Let me hear your top votes. And we'll see in...
My prediction is going to be Chatty Duck.
Okay.
And I know that's easy to say because he's first, but he has got... We're still yet to see how well that tyre's going to last him.
That's the thing for me. I wonder. I mean, he pulled the gap. I mean, of course, everyone was fighting as behind him. Chris was a bit more defensive, so the gap didn't come down. He was on the softer compound tyre to the guys behind, the mediums to the hards, but they didn't. The gap hovered in that last stint. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what pace Chris has got on the mediums. What about Reese? And Kid, of course, we've seen him come straight back through the field as well, and the overall pace that he's got. And I don't know if the softs will hold out and be quick enough. If they are, and he can scamper away, especially away from the DRS, Chris is going to be very, very vulnerable. And then we'll see what we saw in the early laps with Chris, Reese, and Anton. In terms of them swapping positions under the DRS. So that could happen again further back with Cade, Calvin and G-Star now. Of course, Xavier back up there into 8th after his spin early on. Yeah. So there's a lot kind of to play at the minute. And I'm just going to have a quick look at the penalties. 3 seconds for a number of drivers. E17's got 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was the speeding in the pit lane, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the reason I picked Chatty Duck to win is simply because I feel like Chris is going to be under pressure a lot in those early laps, which is going to allow him to build potentially something up to around about a 5-second gap, possibly, if he really nails the restart. So yeah, potentially. At which point, it's going to mean that these drivers are going to, even no matter how fresh the tyres are, they're going to struggle to close it down, but safety car is in.
Yeah, no, this is one where they want to get the tyres in the temperature window. Of course, the soft tyres so easy to do and get the temps in, a little bit of weaving needed to get the heat into the front tyres. The rear is easy to do. But now, when will Chatty Duck go? Will he go outside the final Ravazza or will he go early?
Chris has got a lot closer to him into the first Ravazza this time than he did last time. So
yeah, he took a different line. He's gone in the middle of the Ravazzas. Chris has almost gone with him. Got Reese a little bit napping, but Reese got a good second part of the Ravazza. Kid Dynamite a little bit further back, but now we go racing. Hopefully, for the final time, we go racing. 8 more laps to go after this one. Reese has got a really good jump on Chris, but can't make anything into turn 1. Kid Dynamite really got a poor run out the final Ravazza and dropped about a second further back, but all's fair, all square through the first part of the lap.
Yeah, Kid really did not get away at all well under that restart.
I wonder if he was just that bit far back, couldn't get the power down out the first Ravazza, and then obviously tried to go and had to slow a bit too much for the second Ravazza and couldn't get the power down quick enough, and it just hampered him slightly. E17 Rendog having a battle further back outside of Tosa. They've got Red Car Rambo and Baby Hornet as well for company, but look at this, the top 3.
Wow. That was naughty, that was. In a good way, though.
Good to hear. He's a good racer, actually, and I love going wheel to wheel with him. Love having a battle with him. But
Yeah.
look, this now. To be fair, Kid has now. Because he had that little bit of a gap. He could sort of pick his braking points a little bit more, and he's closed it within that second now. Back to the top three, and now then, what can Chatty Duck do? Those soft tyres. Is he going to get them working? He's got to feel the grip. It's a total difference than he had from the mediums and the hards early on in this race. But Chris has actually set the fastest lap on a safety car restart. I've never seen that before.
No, but that. I mean, as long as you can get the power down very quickly out of the second Rabatza, then it's basically a similar lap time to a quality. It's like a quality time, really, isn't it? It's where you put your foot down for that. So
Yeah, fair point.
it's
Fair
more
point.
than
But
possible.
and Chris is going to know. He started on the mediums. He's going to know where the grip is. He's going to know what those tyres feel like. Where Chatty Duck he'll have amazing grip, but maybe he's just trying to hold back a little bit and not use it all and all the tyre life so early, so that he's going to be really pressed later on in the race. I wonder if he's just sort of holding back a bit. But if not, well, you mentioned, Chris took a different line completely to Reese through the bottom of the hill. So, I mean, I think Chris could just be very strong on these tyres and really prefer them.
Yeah, Chris has looked the racier at the minute. This hasn't gone to plan at all for Chatty Duck so far. He'd have been hoping at least now to be up the DRS.
Yeah, he certainly would. I think you're right with that one. Chris took a little bit deep through the first part of the reactor, but nailed the second part. So DRS is now going to be enabled. This lap, we won't get it, of course, till the end of the next lap because of the way that the track is set up. Only one DRS zone, a 16.9, 3/10 quicker than Chris managed on his previous lap time for the fastest lap. Chris just a little bit further back. He's going to be in that dirty air. Reese has dropped a little bit. He's got Kid Dynamite a little bit closer now for company. And the top 10, all within DRS.
Yeah, they really are. This is... Well, it's sort of an issue for the guys. Chatty Duck has really broken it now, though, which is interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. But Reese has sort of dropped a little bit to a second as well as it stands. And he's got Kid for company. So this now, with another 6 laps after this one. Oh, who's that that's gone round? I think that's Baby Hornet. It is. I don't know what happened. He was going into Tosa. I don't know if he got a little bit wide out the Villeneuve chicane and sent the car spinning.
Yeah.
But if Chris gets a good exit, he's strong here at the top of the hill, and he is within that DRS. And if he could just keep it, that's going to help him pull away from Reese. And depends. You mentioned Reese has got really good straight line speed, skinnier wings. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do with Kid Dynamite behind him on that basis. A little bit twitchy through the second Rabatza on the exit. That's going to give Kid a lot more impetus to try to make a move, and he's already right up the back, and Kid back up into the podium spots, and he makes the move so easily, so quickly.
Yeah, maybe... I'd tell you something, after watching this track, the most important corner on this entire track is the second Rabatza.
Yeah.
Because it's leading you to the... well, only real overtaking spot. So, if you get the X out of there, it almost nullifies the straight line speed in some way, because your exit is so powerful. And being as it's not a totally straight, if that makes any sense whatsoever, but I know what I mean by it, it sort of nullifies the straight line speed a tiny bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, Reese got very squirrely and got a little bit deep into the bottom of the hill. And that's allowed it. Dynamite is just within now. Dynamite in that DRS of Chris. The man is coming. The firecracker. His fuse is lit. 5 more laps after this one. He's 17 with another time penalty. But then again, you mentioned because the field is still tightly packed, Reese's 3 seconds is going to hurt him massively at the end of this race if he continues the way it does. But Chris is close. Chris is a lot closer to the back. Is Chris going to try and go for the lead? He is. He's gone for the outside line, and Chatty Duck goes defensive, but nothing he can do. Chris, mediums, 5 more laps to go, takes the lead.
Those soft tyres have not switched on at full well for Chatty Duck. I wonder if
You're
he's
right.
hit a graining phase already.
Well, that's a good point, because he pulled a second, and then within 2 laps, Chris has now got through, and he's going to have Dynamite for company. Chris, those medium tyre runners, which is pretty much everybody, they those are going to be so consistent. They're going to be okay till the end of this race. We've got 10 laps and they'll go 15, 16 in normal racing conditions.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been lucky enough to commentate with Neville, but I'm sure right now he's going to have choice words for me after this. The day we do commentate together, I will apologise.
I'm going to set it up for next week now. 2 weeks' time.
Experts here, me and Neville.
It's going to happen. What happened to Chatty Duck outside the Vivianti Alta? Kid Dynamite's already through.
He ran wide.
Okay, missed that. Unfortunately, we were on board with Chris by accident. So, but this is now put. Well, Dynamite's going to get the DRS off Chris still, but Chatty Duck and Reese are right there.
Yeah, what a fight back this is for. I don't know why it surprised me, but what a fight back this is from Kid.
Oh, Reese is trying to go on the outside of Chatty Duck. This is going to be very close as Chatty Duck's trying to... Oh, I think Chatty Duck almost outbroke himself. Is Reese going to have the run through the top of the chicane? What a move! This is from Greece and Chatty Duck. Wow, what a move!
I have to say, I'm watching the grip levels of Chatty Duck here, and it almost looks like he's on hard tires.
Oh! What a drift, what a save. Calvin up the hill has now got through. You're right, those softs are just not working.
He looks like he's genuinely on hards. That's how it looks.
In the wet?
That car has no grip whatsoever.
I think you're right, he's burnt them up. I wonder if he's running higher pressures as well and he's just burnt through them and he's overheating them. That looks like an overheating issue.
He looks rapid on the medium tyre.
He did.
That's the thing, but
I'll tell you what,
contrast.
Top three, very, very close. Kid on the back of Chris.
I mean, sadly for Reese, he's almost out of sync because of that 3-second penalty. I mean, he can still have fun, he can still enjoy this. They're all going to want to take it on track for pride, but like you said, the Middle East bottle job is now coming for the lead.
He is, look at this, Chris has gone defensive, it's going to the outside, look at Reese is trying to have a look as well, Chris is trying to try and give it up. Whoa, look at this, that's Chris has lost two positions, Reese has had a move.
That's two worldy moves from Reese in 2 laps.
Wow. Oh, Reese has got a little bit wide through Villeneuve. Wow. I think that caught Chris a little bit by surprise. I think he gave room, but gee whiz.
It's like he was cautious enough and so cautious he didn't want to go into Kid. But then Reese just went, right, well, see you later then. I'm taking that gap.
Yeah, put his car there, and yeah, that just made Chris had to take evasive action. And this is going to hurt Chris massively because Reese is outside of that 1 second window. And he's got Chatty Duck still there, who's still there with Anton. I don't know what happened to Calvin. Calvin got through on Chatty Duck and he's gone backwards again. Oh, who was at the back of that? Was Saviour. Big twitch at the top on the exit of the chicane. Saviour just is being steady all the way, still there. E17's out top of the hill, but it's too late for the safety cars. So this is going to be the final 2 laps.
It certainly is.
Chris is going to make the move on Reese back up into second, you'd think, and it's got Chatty Duck as well, so he and got a better run as well out the final corner. G-Star and Saviour having a little ding-dong as well further back, but now what can Chris do about Dynamite? 1.3 seconds, is he going to be able to close that gap? Reese, those 3 seconds, as you mentioned, he'll put him down into 6th as it stands. And promote, and as it stands as well. Oh, Saviour. Oh, end of Villeneuve chicane. He was battling with G-Star, and G-Star's dropped down a bit as well. Let's have a look at those Red Bulls further back.
I think he's had a glitch as well, potentially, because that is... Go on the outside of Villeneuve.
Sorry, it wasn't. It was Tamburello.
Tamburello,
yeah,
sorry.
Strange.
Yeah, that's straight. It's
unless he's... If you lose it on in through turn 2, the right-hander, it can send you that way, in fairness. So I wonder if he's put the power down and lost the rear that way. Oh, Stefan's gone round in 11th. He's on the bottom of the hill. Oh, sorry, that's the top of the hill. That's Piratella. Sorry, I'm losing complete. I've got a track map as well, and I still don't know where I am.
Yeah, you've now managed to confuse me as well.
Sorry, we're at Donington.
Yeah.
Look at this, Reese. And he's having a look at Reese. Chris is going to be very, very vulnerable. Let's try to have a look, but where's... Whoa, look at this. We're going to go on board. Reese has got back past Chris. Everybody's flashing the ERS levels. And Ant's got a little bit left, but now we've got the final lap Ant's trying to get through to try to push on and try to minimise that gap. What can Ant do about his teammate? Is he going to try to push through? Chris is right on the back of Reese. I think Dynamite, because of these guys battling 2.2 seconds, the gap has pretty much got this. What a comeback this is from Dean. Unbelievable. Oh, everyone's sliding a little bit at the top of the hill. Chris got the understeer. Reese had a four-wheel drift at the top of the hill. You could just see it ahead of us. Chris is trying everything, moving left and right to put Reese under a lot more pressure. He's thought about it. I thought he might have done as well. Calvin in fifth. Great race. Stefan's DNF. Chatty Duck. 3-second penalty for Chatty Duck now. Oh, it's not gone well. He shouldn't lose any places though, unfortunately. But Kid Dynamite coming through the second Ravazza. What a comeback this has been for the man in the Alpha Tauri. Had that incident, unfortunately, with Ojoni early on. Dropped right down. Kid takes the win. Chris does take second, and Mercedes 2-3 at the end because of Reese's penalty. Calvin in fourth. Fantastic race from him. Reese does finish sixth. Chatty Duck in sixth. Then Jules in seventh. Great race from him. Loppy's going to cross the line in eighth with G-Star. And his teammate Womax finishing off a ninth and 10th for the Red Bulls. And Rendog, good showing from him. No penalty as well in 11th. So this is a fantastic result for one of the newest drivers in MRC. I'm sure he'll be very, very happy with that.
Be happy he's got to the end as well.
I mean, he hasn't finished yet.
I wish I'd be in that party right now because he's beaten his brother today.
He has. Ryan finished it in 12th. Good race from Ryan. Really, really unlucky at the start of that. There it is. Simon crosses the line, of course, as well to finish in 13th. That was a good race. That was interesting. It settled for a bit, but it was just a bit nip and tuck, a proper chess match, and Kid fighting his way back through.
Yeah. I mean, am I allowed to give my driver of the day now?
Go for it.
Kid Dynamite. It has to be.
I think you're right, yeah.
He lost it on lap 2, or was it? I think it was lap 2, with whatever happened with Ujoni. He was down in what, P13, 14, and has won the race by 3.2 seconds. So, yeah, I think he's driver of the day.
I mean, I could give it to pretty much any of those guys in the top 4, 5, 6, to be fair. But I think, from exactly that reason, I think. But from the spin that Kid had with that glitch from Ojoni and, as you say, to come back through and take the fastest lap of the race by quite a long way of looking at the best lap times there. That's fantastic.
That is a very long way.
Monstrous.
Wow.
That's ridiculous lap time. Yeah, I think you've got to give it to Kid. I mean, kudos to both the Mercedes drivers as well on the podium. Calvin, good race from him, and unlucky for Chatty Duck. I think the softs just didn't quite work for him. Jules, good race as well. Loppy from 13th, Womax from 14th, Rendog from last on the grid to 11th. What a good race he's had, and fantastic for all the drivers that finished. So, quickly run down the order before we skip. We'll have to skip it. There we are. We had to show on screen as we were talking. Preliminary, of course, before potential stewards' inquiries. But I'm glad we've got a 2-week break because I think we might need it. I think a lot of those top guys are going to need it as well.
Yeah, my eyes are all over the place now. Like, trying to keep up with these guys is almost impossible. So
it certainly is. It certainly is.
They're the best of the best for a reason.
Exactly that. Only one more race to go of this season and F1 23, everybody. So that is in 2 weeks' time. We're under the lights in the desert of Qatar. And join us. It's a super fast, super tricky circuit, so it'll be really good fun for that one. Thank you, everybody, for taking part. Thank you for everybody who's watched us. Hit the like button, of course. And, of course, Mr. Hardy, absolute pleasure as always.
Always a pleasure. I'm sure we'll be together soon as well. So
certainly will, my friends. Certainly will. Join us Wednesday evening where we have the comp and sport tiers taking round the tight and twisty Imola circuit. But until then, everybody, thank you very much and good night.